this video, we're gonna step through as I set up a Samsung frame for the first time, never touched one before, on a wall with all of the cables hidden. Maybe to get started, let's take a look and see what comes with this television. As you would expect, inside of the box, there's gonna be a television. If there's not one in there, there's a problem, call somebody. For us, we specifically have a 55-inch model. There's others, you can get a 75, you can get smaller if you want to, but this is the one that worked for us. Now, the TV at this point isn't the interesting part. What's interesting is what's inside of this little box. Now, this box that says wall mount is going to be where you spend all your time setting up the television as far as the installation is concerned. And there are two main pieces in here that you need to deal with. One will be the mounts themselves, and it's not one big mount, it's actually two pieces, and then they're the pieces that attach to the back of the television. I'll call them the hangers, right? So the mounts go on the wall, the hangers go on the television, and then the hangers hang on the mount. So to get from here to there is pretty much the challenge of this video and what you're going to see happen. The first thing you need to do in the install is to figure out this template. So this template comes in two pieces, and you'll take the arrows and point them together at the size of your television. So mine was a 55, so I had to find the section that said 55. Then I point the arrows at each other and then tape this thing together. This then you put on the wall, and it shows you exactly where you need to mount the two different pieces of the wall mount for the television. So you can't really mess it up. I suppose you can, but this really makes it easy to figure out where they go on the wall. This next little bit might be the most important piece of the installation. This is placing the template on the wall, and this will dictate where your television is going to sit. So what you want to do is look at the template. It will identify where you need to attach this thing to, hopefully studs, and try and find a place on your wall where you're getting at least one stud in both of the pieces, both sides of the wall mount, if possible. So for me, I was able to get, one lag bolt in a stud for each side, and then I used really heavy wall hangers, drywall anchors, to do the rest. But this is where you get everything level. This is where you get it centered. So this step is quite important. With the template done, now it's time to actually install the two pieces of the wall mount. Now there's a left and a right piece. They're very clearly labeled, so it's very difficult or impossible to mix them up. When you hold the pieces of the wall mount up to the template, they only go one way, so don't be concerned about that. You've already done all the hard part with the template for identifying your studs and that kind of stuff. So now it's just time to grab the power tools and make sure everything hits the stud like you anticipated. And then for any drywall mounts, those are very heavy duty. Don't use the cheap ones. Get the metal kind that have the toggle bolts on the back and that kind of stuff, because you do want it to be able to hold weight. The televisions aren't heavy, but you don't want this thing to fall. At this point, your install is going to go one of two different ways. Number one, you have a piece of furniture, you can put all of your equipment there, so you need to simply run a single cable from the television down to your equipment stack. Or two, you want a stealth install, so all of your equipment has to go behind your TV in a box. Now that's the type of install that we've elected to go with here. The basic steps for that are to cut a hole out in your drywall to fit your box, and I'll have a link down below to the box that we used, and it barely fits a 55. It won't work with anything smaller, but it was great for a 55. So you get that in the wall, and you'll have to deal with insulation or whatever might be hiding back there. Be careful to make sure that your studs are not going to be in the way, because this box basically fills up the entire distance between two studs. The more challenging piece, though, is dealing with electricity. Now, if you've gone route number one, you don't have to worry about that because you'll just plug it to the wall. If you're going with route number two, then you need to route electricity from your home power up into your backer box. I'm not going to go in depth on that. I would recommend that you use an electrician to get that piece done. If you're not comfortable with doing electrical work, if you are comfortable, then you already know how to do it, and knock yourself out. Now, since this box went into a wall with loose insulation, I covered up all of the holes in the box with tape so that insulation wouldn't work its way through and have dust work its way through. I don't know if anybody else does this. You know, I thought there might be a heat concern. So far there has not been, which is great, but it's just something to think about. And we didn't want all of that insulation dust continuing to come into the house through the wall. So we did cover up all of those holes. At this point, your wall is ready. You've got everything set up to mount the television. So now it's time to get the TV ready. And there's really only one step to this. You need to attach the two hangers onto the back of the television. There's a little plastic filmy piece that you will stick on to the television, one on each side where the hanger will mount. And then each hanger will then bolt on to the back of the television. By this point, you're probably really excited because everything's almost done. So what you need to do now is to get this Connect box into the backer box. And I just set mine vertically and moved it to the side. I also cabled in an NVIDIA Shield, hooked it up to the HDMI just in case I wanted to use it. Now, the set of applications, set of apps that are available in the television are awesome, and I really like the user interface, and I will go over all of that in future videos. I'll also integrate this in with a Ring security system, etc., etc., etc. There are so many things you can do with this television outside of just plainly watching TV and using it as a piece of artwork, because that's the point of the frame, right? You want a piece of artwork that also is a television. So you get all of your gear inside of the box, and then all you have to do is hang the TV. And the two hangers on the back of the television have a little bit of movement and give, so that once you and a friend hang this up and they click into the two pieces of the wall mount, you can then shimmy the TV up and down to get it exactly level. And man, I guarantee you, once you get this done, you're going to absolutely love this television. It looks great when it's off, and by off, I mean impersonating a piece of artwork, and then the picture's great. The only thing that really lacks is the sound, and the sound is pretty horrific. But in 2022, there's a new set of sound bars coming out from Samsung, designed specifically to be used with the frame, and I'll cover that in future videos as well. So thank you so much for watching today. Please like and subscribe. And I'm curious, what was your experience like setting up your own frame television? How did you do your install? Was there anything that you did materially different than what I did? And is there something that would make this easier for other folks? Drop that comment down below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video, especially if you like and subscribe.